Straw Hut Media.
And I'm so sick of getting spray tans because then they come off and you look like you have some weird skin disease, you know?
From Straw Hut Media, this is Brandi Glanville Unfiltered.
Welcome to Brandi Glanville Unfiltered. We have Pamela Jean Nobel. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, and then with the Miller at the end. See, I did remember it. She was on Below Deck for 2 episodes, but I literally cannot place her. I looked at her Instagram. She looks like a model and like an actress, but she does not look familiar.
She's got like a health company or fitness company, something like that. Health and fitness?
I don't remember her on there at all. Like, I don't, did she work on the boat? I would assume.
I don't know. I would assume that's usually the people we talk to are the people that are like working, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, if she didn't, we need to talk to our booker, but well, I guess we'll find out in a minute because I can't find any information on her except for that she's a very established actress. She was on like Lethal Weapon. She's got a pretty good IMDb. We could always talk about that, but I want to know how she ended up on that yacht.
Yeah. And is she going to go back on the yacht? Did they kick her off the yacht?
Is she a worker? I don't know. We'll find out. She's a little bit late, so we're not going to be able to talk to her for that long. She got in a car accident, or what happened?
No, she was on the freeway and there was an accident, and so it delayed her return.
LA traffic is a nightmare, so I'm giving her a pass.
But she's very sorry, and she's also here.
Oh, good. So she's here. Perfect. Let's bring her in and figure out what the fuck. Hey guys, welcome to Brandi Glanville Unfiltered. Today I have actress Pamela Jean Nobel. You have a lot of Instagram followers.
I have a decent, a little bit.
Yeah, a good amount. You've done a lot of TV work. You're an actress, but what we want to know, because everyone knows I'm obsessed with Below Deck, and you were on for a couple episodes. So how the fuck did that happen? And tell me your experience.
Yeah, so I was a super last minute add-on. I found out, I think maybe 5-7 days before. I used to model for Tap Out. I don't know if you know that company, the MMA brand, but my bosses were like, we have one extra person basically that we can fit in who is going to get along with us and the wives. So I got a call, and, you know, of course, you're not going to say no to that. You just move around the schedule to like make it happen. But you're the first person I've even been on where it's like an untold story, because that's actually how I met my husband, was because of the show.
Oh, tell us what happened. So you just kind of got shifted onto the boat. Were you a guest, or you were?
Yeah, so I was a guest and my husband was a guest on the very next episode. So we met in passing on the island, and literally less than 24 hours. I think we had 18 hours. By the time I got off, he got on the next morning and met, talked, and here we are 8 years later.
Oh, that is such an amazing love story.
Yeah.
So it's great to talk to you, because most of the people I talk to, you know, they worked on the boat. So it's interesting to get a different perspective. So when you went on, did you feel like you had cameras in your face, or you were being watched the whole time?
Yeah, definitely cameras in the face. I have done obviously other TV, and I even done a reality show, but I was a very short part on one that was scripted. So it was much different, because you kind of know what happened. So with this, the nerves before getting on this boat, because you sign something saying whatever they get, they can use, they can make it whatever they want. And you're just like terrified. You're like, am I going to be made to be this like awful person? You just don't know. And so the nerves were crazy, but honestly, I feel like they're one of the better reality TV shows, because I tell everybody now, if you are an asshole, they're going to
you're going to come off as an asshole.
And if you're a nice person, you're probably not going to be shown that much, but they're going to portray you as a nice person. So besides cameras in the face, mics there 24/7, literally 24/7. The only difference is if they hear, but there's not really interaction, but they hear you're upset with somebody, the producers will say, we would like you to say that on camera and express what you're saying. So we only did that once where a producer came and talked and said, you're not that happy with the meal. We really think you should tell the chef that you're not that happy with the meal. And besides that, it was what they got is what they got. So it was nice that it wasn't like that interfering, trying to make a show entertaining. I think their show is entertaining because they get so
they don't need any, like, they have to actually do manual labor. They are so used to the cameras being everywhere, they forget about it. So it's very authentic. And I feel like the only thing that anyone ever fucking complains about is the food, and it drives, I feel like, almost to the point where when people come on, they feel like they have to complain about the food.
Well,
do you feel that way at all?
On, so it was really not that great. he was. And then we watched the show back, and he gave everybody the same thing. Like, it didn't matter what you filled out; he gave you what he wanted to give you. So I feel like all of Kate's complaints, all those things, once you watch it back, you're like, you are legitimate in your,
assholicness.
And so we were like totally team Kate watching that. And then when we got invited back on Mediterranean, we had Ben, and Ben was awesome. Like,
I love Ben. Yes.
I don't think we complained. I actually, it's funny. The one thing we did say to Ben, and it was totally, he makes total sense. We asked, because everything was truffle oil. We finally said, okay, we think we've had a little bit too much truffle oil. If you could just not. And he was like, no, I totally get it. It's just in season, and it's not that often that you can get like authentic.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to give it to you. And we're like, we totally appreciate that. We've had our share.
Yeah. Like too much of a good thing. But I think also a lot of the people that go on as guests, they want this 5-star, meal, and they all want like gold steak flakes and truffle this and like, they don't even know what they like. They just want it to be fancy.
Yeah.
So I appreciate, like, I personally don't love truffle. A little bit goes a long way, but like, yeah, if it's like authentic and that is something that you didn't, like, you wanted to calm down, that's great. But people go on, they're like, I'm hungry. Where's the food? This sucks. And I'm like, you're just watching the show for how many seasons now, and you're doing exactly what you think you're supposed to do. Meanwhile, the people that work on the boat are all talking shit about you.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna do their OTFs, and they're gonna be like, he's an asshole, she's a fake bitch. Like, were you worried about what they might say about you?
I definitely was worried, but so we have two obviously different experiences because we did regular Below Deck and Mediterranean. So I felt like on regular Below Deck, I loved the girls, and I feel like they were so welcoming. Like, I remember having conversations with Kate and Amy, because I'm not that person that's going to be like, oh, you're our hired staff.
Yeah, no, that's not cool.
Like, if we're going to be on the same boat together, let's like get along together. Like, tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
So we had tons of conversations with them. I did have people that were with me saying Eddie was trying to hit on me. So that was kind of weird. And then Mediterranean, it was totally opposite. They were super standoffish, and we understood it once we watched it, because that was when Danny was hitting on all the guests before we went on. I don't know if you remember him.
Did he have kind of longish hair?
Danny had short black hair. He hooked up with a tilted kilt girl.
Oh, yeah. And he got in trouble, right? Yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
So we thought it was odd, because we would try to engage in conversation, and it was very much like, okay, do you have what you want? All right, thank you, and walk away. And so we're like, what is happening here, And then once we watch it back, once again, because they're not going to tell you, oh, this happened last episode, we're all on it. That's just not going to happen. So we watched it and we understood it. But it was funny because the one who talked to us the most was Danny. I was like, you already got in trouble. What are you doing?
Right?
I mean?
Well, I think it's hard probably having beautiful girls and, hot guys come on, and you're not supposed to hook up with the guests, but I think it happens more than people know.
Oh, for sure. I think that it's one of those things where people are away for 6 weeks and stuck in close quarters. People go stir crazy. They probably do things that they wouldn't normally do. That's why they have a show. It's like the perfect recipe to get people to argue and fight and everything.
Because you can't leave. It's not, so if you have a fight, it's not like you can just leave and never see them again. You have to be in a teeny tiny quarters with them, and like you have to deal with it. And that's why I think I love the fact that they're actually working. And it's not like they're getting their hair and makeup done and being, asshole housewives. They're actually doing manual labor, and these stories that happen come about authentically.
Yeah. And I mean, you're exhausted as a guest from being filmed in the morning. You wake up till, and they want you to stay up late, of course, and like get more footage. So I can't imagine being exhausted as a guest, but then now having to work on top of it. So I give it up to like all of them, because the amount of exhaustion they must have after doing it for 6 weeks straight is just insane.
Were there more people working than just the people we saw on camera? Were there like more stews and stuff?
So I think there's like, I don't know exactly what it's called. It's the one that's like helps with the captain. You know what I mean? But it's normally the person who normally is with the boat. So I don't think they're technically working. I think they're trying to make sure that the boat doesn't get screwed up in any way.
Yeah.
And then there was one time we accidentally ventured and opened a door, and it was a whole thing of, I'm assuming, producers.
Oh, yeah.
But besides that, I never saw any like extra people working or anything like that. That was the only time we saw people besides the cameraman and the mic. So
yeah, no, I was curious because I thought maybe there's like extra people like doing things that we're not seeing, because it seems like they work so hard. I'm like, well, how are they going to get all this done?
Yeah.
And then they're up till 4 a.m. and they sleep for 3 hours and then they're back up. But I'm like, there has to be more people there, but I guess not.
I mean, unless they're really good at sneaking it, which I doubt, then it's just them. And I mean, even they have their shifts, obviously, but that doesn't mean anything if you stay up late and you're the late person. You have to stay up until people go to bed. Because I know one time on Mediterranean, my now husband and I stayed up later than everybody else. And I remember.
Oh, wait. So he went back with you on the second time?
Yeah. We had only been dating for 7 months. And they called us, him and his dad and his dad's now wife, but called us and said, like, somebody canceled. Can you be here in 3 days? Greece. Can you be here in 3 days? And we were like, yes, we can do that.
Yeah. And did you guys you have to pay for the yacht still, right?
So the second one we did tip. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but, because I think it was since the person canceled, they just needed.
They needed you guys last minute.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that was awesome. And we got to see Greece.
Yeah. Hello, Greece. I would be like, I'm there in a heartbeat. They should have called me next time.
Yeah, right? We'll go together.
Yeah, perfect. And so you were engaged by the time you got the second call for Greece?
No, we had only been together for 7 months at that point. So, and I think they knew, well, they had to have known we were together, because once we had gotten engaged, the casting director cast us on something else. But I think they may have known that we were together, may not have. I'm not completely sure how much they follow that. But some of the crew, or like the people working on the boat crew, knew, because when we filmed, we were on a super small island in the Bahamas. So there's one hotel, one pool bar. And so when they got off the boat, the day that they were off, they would have to come to that pool bar to get anything they wanted. So they saw like my husband and I talking. I remember Kate got off the boat at one point, Eddie, I think maybe one other, maybe Rocky. But they also
if Eddie was there, Rocky was there.
Yeah, right. But I think they had to be careful, because my husband was the next guest on, so they're not supposed to interact until they're on.
Right. Oh, that makes more sense. I mean, it's such hard work. I mean, I don't know how they do it all. Like, it's so crazy to me. And I want to be a guest on one of these, but I just don't want to pay for it. So guys, I'll come. Well, did you get seasick at all?
No, I think it's a big enough boat and it wasn't super rough waters. I think if it was smaller for sure, but these are like huge yachts, you know?
Yeah.
So it's one of those like once in a lifetime experiences, unless you're going to go rent the whole thing for a week.
Right.
So it's a pretty cool experience to say you did it and say you got a husband and a child out of it. I think.
Right. Oh my God. That's so, I mean, seriously, it made your life kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I always tell people that it's like, what are the odds? Because I got the call like 5-7 days before. My husband flew in a day early, so he wasn't supposed to be there that day.
Wow.
He will not probably admit this ever on camera, but he had been waiting for us to come in all morning just to see who was on the boat. So he kept shouldering, but we were doing all the like, I guess, aerial views and stuff for them to cut commercial and different clips for. So like they had landed a helicopter at one point. So we would pull in and then pull out. And then pull in and pull out.
And then
So
pull out.
he said he paddleboarded for like 3 hours and then he was like, screw this. And then we finally came in and I know this now. I didn't know this at the time, but he went all the way around the resort and came back specifically to walk by us as we were walking off. And
wow.
Yeah. And then he said a little line. He said, "Did you get the boat warmed up for us?" as he walked by. And then once again, I know now, we went to the pool bar. He circled, grabbed his whole group, and then went to the pool bar.
Oh, that's so cute. Like, I mean, I like that. You know what I mean? It's just nice to have a guy pursue you.
Oh yeah. So we made eyes across the pool bar for like 30 minutes. Then we finally started talking. We talked until I think like 2 a.m. He went off with his group at one point, me with my group, but then we met back up. The next day was Valentine's Day. We were flying out and he came to meet me. He wanted me to go on the boat with them. And my group was like, absolutely not. You're not staying with this man. He could be a serial killer. So yeah, we went home and my husband filmed. He got done filming, flew home to Indiana, packed his bags and flew out to California to see me that weekend.
Oh my God, that's so romantic. I love that for you. So what are you working on now? Are you still acting?
So I've kind of taken a break since having my son. I feel like, well, the world shut down literally like
yes,
3 months
yeah,
before having my son. But I know that the like younger years are just so, crucial to their development. So I've just been trying to be, a stay-at-home mom and, do stuff on social media and I have a health and wellness business. So I guess kind of coming down to like a more normal life, but it's actually been like kind of a breath of fresh air because I'm sure it's like the long hours on set and like 15-hour days when I used to do acting stuff. It's so nice that I can just like wake up and do cuddles and breakfast and I don't know.
And the acting, it'll always be there. Mm-hmm. There's always going to be roles for a lot of different things. So I feel like for me, I always put my kids first. And I think it's important, but I also like madly respect women who can do it all, have the career and do this. But like when you're working odd hours as like reality or acting, it's not quite 9 to 5 where you can figure that out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's divorce has made it easier. Don't get one though. No, because I have like a week off, so I can go and do whatever I want for a week.
Yeah.
Like this week.
I came from that, so I actually do understand that. It would be like, I'm mad at you, I'm going to dad's.
Right. Well, they don't get to do that, but they go dad's 1 week, my house 1 week. And so I do get to plan a little bit. So I can, plan those crazy hectic work days. Well, it was so nice to meet you. Yeah. And tell us where everyone can find you on social.
Yeah, I'm at Pamela Jean, like the jeans you wear, Noble on literally everything on all social medias, but I'm most active on Instagram. So
don't DM her crazy pictures, but I'm single. DM me whatever you want.
Please DM me anything you want to send me to. to save me.
She'll send it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's going to filter through my DMs. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm sorry it was quick, but you were late.
I know. I'm so sorry, but I really appreciate you having me, and thank you so much. This was fun.
This is so fun, and congratulations on your husband, your baby, and all of the good stuff that's happening for you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So that was a really sweet story. Pamela literally met her husband because of Below Deck.
Honestly, not expected. I didn't know.
No, because I thought she was like a day worker.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, were you working on it? Because I didn't remember her when I looked at her Instagram and looked her up. I'm like, oh, she's like an actress. Like, why would she want to be on Below Deck? Like, why would she want to be working on Below Deck? You know what I mean? But then come to find out she was a
guest. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the first time we've had a guest on. Good booking.
I think so. Would you prefer to be a guest?
I would like to work for one day and be a guest for one day. I would like to have both experiences. So I understood, well, like, I guess I watched the show. I feel like I already understand what goes on behind the scenes, but I would like to experience it.
Yeah.
Why do you want to go on with me? You want to go on a yacht?
I would only do it as a guest.
No, obviously. I don't see you doing like setups or anything like that. I couldn't do exterior. I could only do interior. But then I can't iron, I can't do laundry, and I can't make beds. So
what does that mean, exterior versus interior? I mean, like...
It means you have to wash it outside and take out the toys when you do exterior.
But you'd really get a good tan if you're outside all the time.
No, because they have to wear like proper shirts.
Oh, I see.
It's like you're not outside with your shirt off.
But the answer is yes, I would do it with you as a guest.
Oh, really? Oh, as you want me to wait on you?
No, we'd both be guests.
Okay, so then the other time that I do it as a second stew, because I wouldn't be a third stew because I can't do laundry, then, because I can make drinks, I can set tables, I can wash dishes.
If for some reason the option is like, Brandi can't do the show, Ryan, unless you're also working on the show, then I'll be like, okay, yeah. I'll do it. You
would be like the dishwasher.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm actually really good at washing dishes. So
they don't actually have a dishwasher. We all three stews have to wash the dishes. Like there's like set dishwasher. They have to do more work than I think anyone realizes. It's insane. That's why I have so much respect for them.
It sounds so hectic. But yeah, well, obviously that's why they deserve all the respect.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
All right.
So I appreciate you. And I would like to leave now.
Yeah. Bye, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye, guys. I'm going to get a tan. And if you want to know the tea, listen to Teresa's Namaste Bitches podcast to hear my side of everything that's going on and to see why I'm so thin because I'm stressed the fuck out.
Thanks for listening to Brandi Glanville Unfiltered. Download new episodes every week. And if you haven't already, subscribe. And be sure to leave us a rating and review. And while you're at it, check out some of the other great shows available on Straw Hut Media.